Welcome to Paperweights, the podcast where two self-proclaimed gym rats and shooting enthusiasts delve into the world of literature with a sprinkle of humor. Although their biceps could crush a walnut, don't let that intimidate you. They also have a nerdy side. Mike and Brandon have a voracious appetite for reading, particularly in the fantasy genre, and they want to share their passion with you. So grab your protein shake and your favorite novel and join us for a humorous and insightful journey into the world of books with Paperweights.
Welcome back to another episode of the Paperweights. I'm your host, Brandon.
And Justin.
And today we will be covering the second half of part one of Scott Lynch's Red Seas Under Red Skies. Before we get started, we are sponsored by Mudcat Whiskers, which is a Louisiana small business that sells beard care products, candles, and colognes. So if you are in the market for any of those things, you like to groom your beard or you've never done it and you want to start, head on over to www.mudcatwhiskers.com and use code Paperweights at checkout to save yourself 15% on the best thing that you'll ever put on your face. They got some beard wash, conditioner, balms, butters, and oils. Great way to keep your beard untangled and soft and looking nice. And if you don't have any facial hair, then they have colognes. And if you are not a fan of colognes, they have candles. So head on over there and check them out. So Justin, I competed, like I said last week, I competed in a jiu-jitsu tournament and had to go up 2 weight classes to get a match. My opponents, both of them outweighed me by 21 points. And I went 1 win, 1 loss, and got silver in that division. So it's pretty happy, pretty excited.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
Sounds like you did a good job.
I did not get submitted in my loss, but I also didn't do a submission in my win. So actually, yeah. Yep.
So you won on points or something?
Yes.
Nice.
I won on points. My opponent, I think he attempted to guillotine me, but I slipped or I jumped over his foot, so I was on the wrong side. For him, I was on the wrong side of his body, and I slipped my head out and maintained a top position, which earned me 1 point because they have a rule that says basically if you concede the takedown where you willingly go to the ground and you end up in the bottom position, they award 1 point to the opponent. They want to encourage like takedowns and wrestling type stuff and not just like pulling guard and whatnot. So I scored a point for that. Then later on, I scored some points for passing his guard, and then scored more points for an attempted submission, which was knee on belly. And then basically I just held him there and for the entire 5 minutes or 4.5 minutes after we went to the ground. So, but he was a tough opponent. It was hard keeping him on the ground underneath me. He fought pretty damn well and hard. So, and kudos to my other opponent who was who is a teammate of mine, who's 10 years younger than me, but good guy, good jiu-jitsu, strong guy. So good stuff all around.
Yeah, sounds like a good time.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about this week's reading?
I feel like it's up and down. I kind of like where we ended. It just took a long time getting there. Like, there's like on the audiobook, there's like almost a 2-hour chapter, and it's pretty boring. of just like learning nautical terms and shit. But it's fine. Like I'm enjoying it. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah, chapter 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that one to be like boring. And like I got to that one quickly, and then that's what was taking me the longest to get through in this section. And I was like, man, I don't know if this is just like boring or what the deal is. And I was thinking about it, and I think overall, uh, what this section does that I really don't like is it two things I really like. I like the Requiem game, and like I was excited to see that play out. I like the pirate stuff, and I'm excited to see that play out. But he interrupted the Requiem game to introduce the pirate game. And not only that, in like what I thought was the meat of getting to the Requiem game and finding out how it was going to play out, we go to the setup of the pirate game. And
Yeah.
it threw the pacing off. And I was like, man, I don't care about this right now because this is not where my mind thought this was going.
Mm.
Um, so he's like, I don't know if he just had these two cool ideas and he was like, I'm really gonna do this pirate thing right here. Um, and he tried just like forced them to fit together somehow. Um, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think it's his best.
Yeah. I also think the remembrances aren't that interesting for the most part. Um, but yeah, it like I like the pirate stuff. Like I like where we ended up. But yeah, getting there was a little rough.
Yeah, I do like where we ended up as well. I mean, there were only two reminiscences in this section.
Yeah, and they were both kind of boring, pointless.
I I like the first one. I really like the first
It's fine.
one, and we'll get into that one.
Yeah,
I think we can go ahead and get into it.
yeah.
So
So we can start with the amusement war. Um, they're they're it's another flashback, of course. They are in the city of Salon Corbeau. Um, they're
just
getting
Locke, right?
yeah. I think John's doing something else. But Locke is there as Fairlight, and he's getting those chairs that show up later in the thing that
It's a
are
different fair, right?
yeah,
This one is
Mordav.
Mordavi. In
Yeah,
book one, he was Lucas Fairright, wasn't he?
yeah, yeah.
I wonder if I wonder if he set up that they're like relatives.
Maybe.
So
But yeah, he's getting chairs that are like really good replica of some special chairs. Um, that with Requiem will like, and for the reasons we don't know yet, we don't know what's inside them or whatever. He also goes to like the the amusement war games, which is like in a coliseum, and it's basically like playing uh the Harry Potter chess with people, and then when people or the pieces get taken, there's like a penalty, and they get like the shit kicked out of them, or like their clothes torn off or whatever, and it's like cruel or whatever. And Locke's really disgusted. And that's kind of it. Like it was, yeah, that's it. And then like there's a little bit of discussion on like the ethics of it or whatever. Like yeah, it's kind of it.
yeah, I mean, boiled down. Um, yeah, I think his writing shines in describing like creating of the amusement war. Like Lynch really likes his games. And in-world like amusement stuff. Um, I found the city of Salon Corbeau to be more interesting than like the chair thing. at going and talking with the chairs because to me it's like he even was like, man, I really want my game. Like, I want to do a game here and really like teach the rich people like what it's like to be screwed over. Um, let's see. I had a theory here um, that Locke and John would end up fighting over going back to Salon Corbeau, um, and or that they are um, fighting. So like the first at the and this was just right after reading this chapter. The first prologue, they're fighting over like having going there or wanting to go there. Um, could still play out that way. Um,
Yeah.
so
What do you think's in the chairs that's gonna like help them?
I don't know. Like the only hint that I remember getting is that it was like fire retardant something. Like it had to do with something with like preventing fires. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't really know either.
yeah, I have no clue. Like that whole thing is just like bizarre. Because he is and we find out later it's like I mean he told Master Balmondane or whatever. He's like, yeah, I'm not there's you have my promise that I'm not going to play these off as real chairs. Like they know they're going to be replicas and whatnot, but um, it's just really bizarre. I don't know. Um, I did feel for the. Did you ever play the game with the Amusement War? Did you ever play the game on PC Battle Chess? Where
No, no, but I know of it.
Yeah. The Amusement War kind of just reminded me of that, but instead of them fighting each other, it's basically selling to the audience like, "Hey, do you want to play out your weird torture fantasy on people? As long as you don't kill them, you can make whatever the hell happen." Um, it just kind of reminded me of that, and just kind of sick and demented.
Yeah, it's like the purge or something like that, or yeah, it was just a little heavy-handed in its metaphors of like, oh, the rich are bad or whatever they use people stuff like that. That's just
But also it touches on mob mentality, and then authority. So like, like the Stanford prison trials, where it's like, oh, you're putting authority. Okay, you could they they actually thought they were um guards, like prison guards, and were making these prisoners do weird shit. Um, fuck those people up in the head. But anyway, um, yeah, it was fine. Uh,
yeah, like it's nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't my favorite um plot point or whatever. I'm curious what is gonna come back because of the chairs and maybe the amusement war stuff will come back. See.
yeah, and I think I kind of hope Countess Sal Jessica comes back because she seemed kind of interesting of a little of what we heard of her. The other thing I thought was kind of messed up in this one was the cat named Lively that that was rescued from a family whose sons had gentle cats so that they could cut them with knives simply because they were bored at sea. I was like, oh, well, that's kind of messed up. Um,
Yeah.
and we've mentioned it before. Again, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Martyrs in that one. Yeah, whatever. He did pay Balmain like a shit ton of money. Um, he just kept like putting money out, putting money out, putting money out. Um, and then paid him an extra 20 Solari at the end just to be quiet and forget that he was ever there. Um, or that they built the chairs.
Yeah. Maybe it's like the first book because it seems to be playing on similar stuff and like it has some sort of like chemical that will like knock people out or something when they want to do the heist.
Could be. There's four chairs, right?
Yeah.
So what? Cylindri, Requin, Locke, and Jean?
I mean like maybe
Or
there's like something inside that you could like light on fire and that's why it's fire resistant or something. I don't know.
oh, yeah.
Kind of how like there's all that wraith stone in book one.
Okay. No, I follow now. I follow now. I was
Yeah.
just trying to figure out why there were four as well. Like who
Yeah.
would four people be? So
Either it has like maybe it has the climbing equipment inside of it or something. Because we know that they need climbing equipment for the whatever they're gonna do for that.
for Requin, the
Yeah, for the
Spitfire thing.
vault. Yeah, maybe they have to like approach it from the outside or something.
Yeah. The back of this the back of the book has this uh, okay, there you go. Tower and like a person hanging and a boat right here. I wonder I thought that was the Windward Stone or whatever, the prison that they uh broke people out of. Uh but sorry, that I'm all over the place tonight. The climbing stuff just reminded me of the back of this book.
Yeah,
So
definitely see it.
um but you have anything else on this
Ah,
reminiscence?
no, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Chapter 5 on a Clockwork River. Um, so we're now back in the present. If we remember that they just survived that assassination attempt. Um, they get basically taken back to see the Archon, and the Archon like is like talking with them, figures out like it's probably the Miragios that are uh the people that tried to get him assassinated. He like takes them on this like crazy clockwork river thing that's like all controlled remotely and like it's like a clockwork world. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, we basically get the what he wants them to do, which is basically do a false flag operation to start a pirate war. So the uh people, the nobles, want him to like rise up and stop the war so he gets power so he can then take over everything. Basically. Basically false flag, Gulf of Tonkin, all that sort of jazz. Um and he wants them to go to sea and like basically do recruit the pirates. They're gonna be gone for a couple of months. Um he gives them the antidote. We meet their like sailing master guy, Caldrus. Uh and yeah, they're gonna go do all of that. Miriam is gonna stay not with them. She's gonna be doing other stuff. Um and yeah, what else? Oh, he also wants to like kill the mages, the Bonds Magi. He's like, yeah, we can with science we can stop the Magi, basically. Uh, just needs to get introduced to the magic of guns, and then he'll be able to do that pretty easily.
Yeah, I thought that was like he had there's two big motives he had, which was one, remind the world that like before the Bonds Magi, like alchemy and clockwork were the magic in the world that could like basically engineering can build and make anything happen. And then when the Bonds Magi came around, they kind of put a taboo on the word magic. And so he wants to um, make alchemy great again. So he wants to create MAGA heads. Um, and then the other one was, you know, the priori and the council
Priority.
have basically have a check and balance on him and his navy that he can't like send the navy out. And I think they actually made him uh decrease the size of his navy because peace has been around for so long. They're like, hey, we don't need it. Like everybody's afraid of us. You shut it down pretty well last time. Um, and that was like
Yeah, they're
seven,
they're
7 years
also
ago.
they're also afraid of him seizing power,
Yeah,
like a thing like Julius Caesar or something. You have the general that stops the thing, gets super popular, and can just go like, oh wait, I have an army and I'm super popular. I guess I'm in charge now. Um, so they're trying to stop that.
yeah, which is interesting because he already has control of like the navy is his to command, but there's checks and balances from the priority. So it's weird because he could already technically do it, but I think it's more the public eye that would frown upon him just rising up. And that's why he needs that uh, pirate war for it to occur. Like we need an enemy to go and attack so that we can unify under me as a protector.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be seen as like a tyrant or whatever. He wants to be seen as like a hero.
Yeah. One thing that stood out at the end was Stragos told Moraine to go tell her masters that the things are in order and that there will be lots of blood coming. Um, do you know who those masters are?
Battle.
Um, and I want to know if Stragos also serves them or if like Moraine is like a double agent that works for Stragos. Stragos knows she works for somebody else. Um, and so she's like she'll go back and report and say, "Hey, I got everything in order that y'all wanted me to." Wink, wink.
Yeah, we kind of already know that she works at cross purposes to Stragos because she murdered all those guards.
Yeah, we find that out in the coming chapter,
Yeah,
but as of this
but
point, we didn't. So,
yeah,
uh, but I wonder if that is part of it. So,
yeah. I mean, we don't really know because it doesn't make sure sense should be with the what priori or whatever because they're like cross purposes. He's trying to screw them over. She's not with the bonds mages. She's not with Requin or anything like that. So maybe she works for like a foreign power. I don't know what foreign power would be.
uh,
Like I don't think it would be Komor, but maybe.
I mean, I don't have any motive around it, but could potentially be Salon Corbeau, just because we know that's another uh, city in the area within the area.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, they don't seem to like the Countess there doesn't seem to be interested in politics or like war or anything. She's just like, this is my town of debauchery where I can make your dreams come true, or you can come here and uh, sell, peddle, or buy like Coach and uh, uh, Louis Vuitton, whatever you want type items. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
because
they're related.
yeah, I can see that. I mean, we're what, a little over halfway through the book, so there's
Yeah.
still time for them to introduce for him to introduce another faction. But I don't really. I right now I can't think of what it would be for her.
I mean, it could be a pirate gang out of the Ghost Winds that he had already put down previously.
Yeah, maybe.
So
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
yeah, we'll keep reading. We'll Ratho it.
Yeah, there's a reason why we're not doing the entire book because we haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else on this chapter? The Clockwork, like dome or whatever they were in was really cool. Um,
Yeah, I like that. And one thing that pointed out, um, like he noticed that there were dirt that was covered the elder glass in that area to change the lighting and so that like the trees can grow inside. And like they took a shit ton of money to bring that much dirt in. Um, but yeah, overall that entire clockwork thing was uh amazing. The river and the garden. Um, and it was just funny, not funny, but really cool when he's like, it took about 60 people to uh, puppetry all of this and make it look the way it did. That's the power that I have. I was like, oh shit. Huh?
and you got a little god complex going.
Yeah, yeah. So
All right, we can move on to Reminiscence by Their Own Rope. Uh, right, this one.
yeah, by their own rope.
Yep. All right, so this is another flashback. Uh, this one they're training to rappel down rope. They got their like harnesses and stuff. It's for the Requin job. We don't know in what capacity quite yet. Um, and basically they're rappelling. They're like in a remote, like off area, going down a cliff. Hopefully not getting seen. And then like a random bandit comes down and is gonna like kill them because he found them dangling from the ropes as they're training. And he's like, "I'll cut the rope," and they're like, "Don't cut the rope because you don't have to kill us." Blah blah blah. The whole like negotiation thing ends up with Jean throwing a knife at him and hitting him with the handle because it starts raining, so it throws off his aim. And they all like kind of he falls off the cliff and like clings on the lock, like reminded me of Temple in the Temple of Doom with Malak and Indy when he fell off the thing. Um, yeah, so they have like a scuffle. He ends up Locke ends up saving his life and he's like, "Hey, you now owe me." So we got a dude on our side, Trav. Um, and then yeah, because he's like, "You owe me," and then I can call in a favor. So
Yeah.
I'm curious where that's gonna go.
Yeah, he convinced him. He's like, "Hey, we're priests. We're actually priests of the Crooked Warden, and you're doing a shit job at being a thief. One, because you attacked a fellow thief, and two, you're just not good at it. So we saved your life, and we're gonna call on you whenever we need you." Um, that whole scene when it was almost like a cross between like a Monty Python skit and Princess Bride whenever uh Inigo Montoya is waiting at the top of the cliffs for him to climb up.
Yeah,
He's like oh, how long are you gonna take? It's like, I don't know, you could pull the rope up and it'd take faster. Um but yeah, I just imagine that he does so good at writing this stuff that plays like a movie. And it's just like Locke and Jean hanging on the cliffside, and all of a sudden they just hear, "Hello, uh, would this stuff up here happen to be yours?" Yeah. Ah, I noticed that the coin purses weren't up here. Do you know where they happen to be? Oh, yeah, they're down here with us. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Now I'm gonna have to kill you. Just like
Yeah, that's funny.
I liked this chapter, and you've mentioned it before that like C.S. Friedman is an author where you remember chapters. Scott Lynch is turning out to me to be that like same way. I can remember some of these specific chapters, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's exactly what happened here. Um,
Yeah, I think I just was in the right mindset when I was reading it because I just wanted to know what was gonna happen, and there's like oh this random side venture these chapters are long. Like I feel like a lot of them could be split up and like you know cut down chapters. And this chapter is pretty long in the audiobook too. It's like another like hour 20-minute chapter where not a lot happens. It's pretty funny, but I think at the time I was just like I kind of want to get on with the story, and that's why it didn't really land for me. But
yeah,
in a vacuum, it's pretty good. But I think in totality, I did enjoy
at
it.
first it wasn't landing for me because I didn't understand why exactly they were out there rappelling down a cliff. I'm like, what's the point of this? But I think what's going to turn out is that we have now somebody they'll be able to call upon later. Um, but yeah, I like this one a lot more than the next chapter. And um, but before we go there, do you have any uh thing left on this reminiscence?
Uh, no, not really. I think we covered it.
Okay. Yeah, the next chapter, like you said, um, it's chapter six, balance of trades. I thought this one could have been more of what was it I said?
Concise.
I thought most of the other chapters had like a pretty focused bit, but this one seemed more chaotic and too long. Uh,
Yeah,
I may have preferred that like the end scene and a few of the others like be in a reminiscence after this chapter because I think it bogged it down. Like, hey, show me. Um, sorry, hold on.
yeah,
Show me them learning the nautical stuff and mentioning the stuff that happened on land, and then show me a reminiscence where it goes over the things that happened on the land. Because he has that um, record of doing that,
yeah,
and I think it works pretty well because one we would have stayed in the nautical stuff, and we would have been able to just have our mind focused on that, and then the next part go, oh shit, yeah, the assassins are still around.
yeah.
So, so you can go through and give the summary.
Yeah, I just say it in general. It was a lot of like exposition to where like I didn't really care. Like I don't really care what all the different terms, like
Larboard, starboard.
larboard, starboard, that stuff. Like I get they need to know that, and I guess I should, but it's just like one's left, one's right. We'll figure it. Like it doesn't really matter in the book itself. So like getting on land, getting them rowing, like like that could be like man, we spent like ages rowing for like 2 weeks in the harbor. That really sucked. Or like we didn't need it like beaten into us as much, just for like pacing wise. But anyway, it starts off. They're in like a tavern, and Marion is shows up and she's the waitress and she's like, "Hey, we're gonna get you all out of here." And then there's like they do like the Harry Potter. They all like have hoods on. There's a bunch of different groups and three carriages. They all like get inside. They go into the middle carriage. They like goes around. they like escape notice potentially. Um, then they they meet Caldrus, their
Oh,
sailing
master.
master, who is going to be basically Locke is going to be pretending to give orders, but he's going to be taking orders from him. But they all need to know, and John's going to be the first mate. But they all need to know like the stuff to where they don't fumble over things. So he's gonna teach them all the jargon, which we get a very long explanation of all that, all the different sides, and they don't use starboard and port or whatever. Um, so we get all that. They're like rowing. He's gonna like because he's like this takes 8 years to be a true sailor, and we also learn that Caldrus has also been poisoned by Stragos. So Stragos just loves doing that. That's his go-to move of recruiting people. I don't know why. I don't know why he couldn't just bought off this dude, but he he gave him poison apparently. So yeah, is this does he get his like fake name this section? I don't know. He's gonna be
Um,
Captain Ravel. I don't know if we get that quite yet.
uh, maybe.
But he also gets dressed up as like in the uniform by Stragos, and Stragos is like, I like to dress up my people or whatever. He does that so he can get used to the uniform, so he can pull off being a captain later in the book. We see. Um, let's see. Basically, it's a lot of like learning shit, and they lock. Eventually, like Locke and Jean are chilling in a inn, and these like uh basically watchmen, these like basically sheriffs come in, and like it's like not their bar, it's like a navy bar. So like they like freak out a little bit, but end up buying around for everybody of dark ale. And they get everybody gets around, including Jacques and Locke, Jean and Locke. I don't know why I call it Jacques. Um, Jean and Locke get it. They are too tired or don't feel like drinking because I think Locke has wine and doesn't go well with the dark ale. So they end up giving theirs to this lady who turns out it's poison and she dies. So there's some mysterious assassin still after them. It was a very harrowing scene of her like dying. It reminded me a lot of I won't say that because it's a spoiler for Game of Thrones, but if you know, you know. Um, we get a emergency tracheotomy, which is always pretty gross.
Yeah.
Um, and then we also learn, I think it's this chapter, we learn that every ship needs at least a woman and some cats.
Yes.
Apparently cats are the the favors of the sea gods, and you also need a lady. So that's that's Locke's responsibility to get, and we'll see what happens with that. Then they kind of like run away, and their ship's called the Red Messenger. We learn that it's repurposed from the ship that was carrying the stiletto
Spider
wasps.
wasps.
So yeah, that was kind of fun. That's basically what happens. There's probably some other stuff that I'm missing.
You missed a huge thing where he went and met with Requin,
Oh
uh,
yeah. I
and
forgot. This
delivered
chapter had
the
everything.
cheers. Yeah, it had way too much. Like
Yeah.
it was a poorly, to me, it was a poorly edited chapter. Not that the things in it didn't need to be there, like didn't need to be in the book, but the way they were positioned and grouped together in this chapter was not the same editing style as the other chapters we've seen.
Yeah, I think if you just broke it up, like after they were learning all the stuff, that was like you have them being like, "Oh man, my head's full of all these nautical terms," and like you end that, and you have like him going to see Requin, and then the
Assassinating him.
assassination
Yeah.
attempt. If that was two different chapters, it would flow really bad.
Yeah,
That's
I
I
think so too. In it's not, and I was telling my wife this. I was like, as I was trying to get through this, and I'm like, man, it's taking me longer to read this stuff this week. And I told her, it's like, it's strange because like if it breaks up into these little things that are compartmentalized, I feel like I get through each one quicker. But whenever there's a huge like 25-page section, it feels like I'm taking forever to get through it, no matter like how good the information is.
Yeah.
Um, it was a just as we said about the first part of book one compared to the rest of book one is completely like different writing. I don't know if it was written at a completely different time and it just didn't get the same editing afterwards after everything was done. Um, but it felt different. It felt out of place and too long. But
Yeah.
the scene with Requiem, uh, like Moraine was like, "No, you can't go see him." And he's like, "I have to go see him. Like, I have to go see him." She's like, "Okay, well, we'll escort you there." Um, and he has to be back at 7 a.m. the next morning. But anyway, he when he shows up, he bribes one of the guards to fetch Cylindri, or if she's not around, then he has to speak to uh,
Uh,
Requiem
yeah.
directly. Um,
He gives him the
she
chairs.
Yeah, she recognizes one of the bodyguards as she's uh, bringing him. She's like, "Oh, you've got an Eye of the Archon as your bodyguard." He's like, "How did you know?" I noticed the tattoo. I used to have one of those on my other hand. So we get the reveal that she used to be in the employ of the Archon. Um,
Mm.
it's interesting.
Yes. That was
I mean,
cool.
not Locke could definitely use that little bit of information because he was already trying to pit Cylindri against Requiem, I think. um, we'll see if that comes up later. So Requiem does accept the chairs. Locke explains that he's being sent to Port Prodigal by
Yeah.
Stravos, and
For
he's
the
like
for the
he's like
locksmith, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I need a reason why I'm going there. Oh yeah, the lock breaker. And he makes up the name Callus. Um, and then Reckons like, hey, from now on, any plans you come up, any plans that are given to you, you need to give to us immediately. Um, and yeah, he Jean was very relieved that the meeting didn't go worse than it did. So,
Yeah.
doo-doo-doo. Let's see. The
You're
Lubber's
good.
Castle section, that was interesting. It's just a floating platform that was filled with books and devices for training. And it didn't mention anything about coverings on this platform. But I mean, if there's books just sitting on this platform and they were mentioning it was raining, I'm guessing there's some type of cover for them at some point, but
Yeah, I guess so.
uh do-do-do. I don't know if he gave him his name, his captain's name in this one yet. He just
I
he
don't
definitely
think
told him he
so.
was going to be a captain.
That's Ravel, right?
Yeah, Ravel
Yeah.
is going to be the name that he
Yeah,
gets.
because we get kind of disjointed flashbacks next chapter of the plan,
Yes. I liked
which I thought
chapter
was
7 more
oh
than
yeah, chapter 7 is good.
one other thing I did pick up on, and I don't know if you touched, um so Locke and Jean think that the city watch coming in and buying a round of drinks was the um kind of like the signal to the barkeep, the young barkeep. I think it was the young one that ran off.
Yeah.
He disappeared. That was the signal for the young barkeep to poison the the ale.
Yeah.
And they may not even have known that they were part of that assassination attempt. Um,
Yeah,
so
but it shows that there's some really big hitters after them.
yes, yes. So
Which I'm guessing is the Priori, but we don't know. They did piss off a lot of they have like they're like, yeah, we pissed off a lot of people. It could be anyone.
yeah,
It could be the Bonds mages again trying to torment them. I don't know.
could be.
Yeah. Um but yeah, so that's kind of that chapter. It's really, like I said, really long. It could have been paced a little bit better, but the stuff that happens in it is pretty cool. It's just yeah.
Yeah, it's really long and like not a lot happens.
Yeah.
There's three different big things that do happen, like three sections that have something big that does happen, but overall,
Yeah. I just remember
not
listening
much happened.
I just remember listening to it, because I was doing the audiobook while like surfing the internet and stuff. I was like, man, they're talking about nautical shit for a long time. Jesus, how much more do they have left on this chapter? Okay, I'm going. Alright. Yeah, so like it wasn't great, but we got through it. We need that information with all the nautical stuff anyway. It just could have been maybe done a little bit cleaner. But anyway,
I wonder if the reason why he went over a lot of it exposed us to those terms is that later on it's he's just gonna be writing in there and Locke is gonna say something.
yeah. I
And
mean,
that's gonna be our foreshadowing of that's how whatever what was his name? Uh
Jacques Will, right?
Jabril, yeah.
Jabril,
It
yeah,
was like
Jabril.
Jabril is gonna be like, oh, they're not pirates.
Yeah,
They wouldn't use that term. So it's just gonna be written there and not pointed out at first, and then you're gonna have to be like, how did they know? Oh, okay.
yeah, kind of like Inglorious Bastards with the three Glazers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, three
Drei
cooks.
Glazer.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and I mean, next chapter they're gonna have to like become a captain in a storm, which is gonna be fun. Um, but yeah, yeah, we can move on to chapter 7 unless you got anything else on that.
Nope.
Uh, Casting Loose. So this chapter we have a prison break. They're gonna get their crew. And then we get the whole detail thing from Stragos about what they're gonna do, the plan. Basically, Locke is gonna be Captain Ravel. Stragos has been planning this for a long time, like months, if not years, because he's been seeding Ravel in like documents and like has his people being like, "Oh yeah, I served under him," and blah 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 blah, to make him become a real person for when he rebels and starts this giant war, um, which is fun. They go to this prison. I forgot to put the prison's name down. Do you got it?
Windward Rock.
Yeah. Uh, doesn't have that many guards, which is kind of funny. But there's like a tussle. They end up subduing all the guards with like poison. A pretty cool little fight scene. Um, he basically goes down to the
He and he makes a point of letting them see that he is a captain in the Navy.
yeah,
So they're like, "Oh no, you're betraying us."
yeah,
So that when they do wake up, which they won't,
yeah,
but they'd be like, "Oh no, he did."
yeah.
So,
There was two watchmen on top that agreed to take poisoned like soup or whatever and pass out to make it look even more like an inside job. Yeah, and his stipulation is not to kill anybody. He doesn't want any of his agents killed because he's financing them to war, but he doesn't want them to die through like nefarious means. He goes down. Basically, Stragos is also arranged for them all to be in one cell and like all the conditions to be really, really shitty. like no food. They're getting woken up at odd hours of the day and stuff, so that they are gonna say like screw Talvarar and they're gonna mutiny easier, because they're also like subject to getting called into being like rowers in military times. Like they can be conscripted really easily too. So it seems like a pretty raw deal. Anyway, they like there's like a whole thing. They end up agreeing to serve Locke, and they get the boat. They escape basically. It's pretty long, cool. It's a cool scene, but they end up escaping. Long story short, uh, you get more Caldus and his Locke like looking at his lead and stuff. And then the one woman that Stragos had assigned to them, she got sick and died, so they don't have a woman. So that's bad.
There were four, and one
Four.
got sick, and then the others got sick, and then they got moved out of that cell so that nobody else would get sick. So they have
Yeah.
no women.
Yeah, they have no women. And Locke forgot the cats, so they have no cats. I do love that he lies to them. He's like, "Oh yeah, they're the, I brought some kittens. They're just shy, I
They're
guess."
shy, they're hiding it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Locke's like, "Shit, I'm so fucked." I do love that Caldus was like, "You better pray for a boat so we can go storm it and take their cats, or else we're super screwed." Um, yeah, so they're going to the Ghost Winds or whatever. They're going to Port whatever.
Port
Port
Padrigal?
yeah, Padronal or something like that.
Prodigal?
Prodigal, yes. Yeah, they're going there. Along the way, we learn, it's like a couple of weeks. There's some crew stuff, like he gets them all drunk, and like there's crew morale. We get to learn about these things called like uh ghost flints or something like that. Like these little like wraith things.
Oh
Wraiths.
yeah, Flit Wraiths.
Flint wraiths, yeah. We get to learn about those are cool. We get to learn that the sea is a dark and mysterious place. He saw like a city underneath the sea one time when he was young, and he's like, Master Costa, there's crazy shit on the seas. And then you learn that there's like some islands that like you like are uninhabitable. There was like a Roanoke situation where like there was
My
an
mind
island.
went there too. I was
Yeah,
like,
there was like a island habitat, and then some people came, and it was just all deserted, and like they found like a boat, and they found like a boat, and then like there was only two people there, and they were like lashed to the mast on the crow's nest, and they like killed themselves. So pretty cool stuff. I don't know if that's like an Eldrin island or something. That'd be kind of cool. Um, yeah, so there's a lot of ghost stories and stuff. It looks cool. All the while this is happening, there's like talk of like a storm might be coming. Um. Anyway, long story short, it ends with the storm is coming and Countess is like, I don't feel so good, Locke, and he like falls over dead. So there's a storm coming. Their shipmaster is dead, and they're screwed. They're gonna die. So end of the book.
he into the book. Yay. Uh so during that time he also has finds out that Jabril is can shoot bows, and it's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, set these things up and have all your people practice shooting bows. So whenever we do have, like, at first they were like, shall we find a ship and plunder a ship? They're like, oh, you're eager to get your equal shares, but hey, look, y'all aren't in condition yet, and we're still learning each other and learning the boat, and the weaker ones need to get their strength. So why don't we build our strength, practice our weaponry. Jean was also teaching silver, um, so swords and things like that. They really need to develop uh, black powder. Um,
Yeah,
so
it is a little weird that they don't have it.
yeah, I know,
It's
right?
like,
Pirates without cannonballs is
but I mean, most like steampunk, which is what I would consider this to be in, has guns.
Yeah. Um,
So it's kind of interesting that there are no guns. They're just like ballista and catapults and shit.
Jabril kind of seems like gonna be a kind of a cool character. He's, I guess, second mate or under Jean, who's known as Jerome, which that was a funny conversation that Locke was like, why the fuck do I have to be Orin Ravel? I have to remember that. And you at least get to keep your name Jerome.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I decided not to make it harder on myself. Huh.
Um, let's see. Oh, Bald Mazuka
Mm.
was Caldress was like training him to basically replace him as kind of like the helmsman, um, so that Caldress could potentially get more rest. As it was, Caldress was only getting like 4 hours of sleep each day because he couldn't trust anybody to not like veer them off course or wreck the ship or whatnot. Um, and then yeah. At first, oh, this was funny in my head. Whenever they were leaving the island, and then he was like, "Well, I've got this boat, but is only for like two people. But then there's this other boat that holds 60 or something, and so we got to row it. Who's? I need two rowers." I'm like, at first I thought it was gonna be like the chicken and the fox and the farmer puzzle where you've got one boat and you got like so many chickens and foxes and a farmer, but you can't leave like the chickens and foxes together or something like that. I was like, are they
Yeah,
going like back and forth until everybody gets? But then I reread it and I was like, oh, okay, no, they rowed to the other boat and then they brought the boat around for everybody else to load onto. I was like, okay, that makes more sense.
yeah, yeah. It was interesting. Also, this is when what's her face goes behind them and slits all the guards' throats. We
Yeah, Moraine was just
yeah,
hiding out in the
Moran.
shadow.
Yes. So she's a mysterious third party. Probably, I'm guessing the same party that's gonna sending the assassins after them because and we can't. I don't think there's room for two more mysterious parties. So
Do you think that Moraine is actually the one responsible for the assassination attempts already?
I don't know. I, it sounded like from her voice that she was there to like do stuff to the Archon, and like the Locke and them are like collateral that she didn't want them to come back and like screw up her plans.
I could see
That's
that.
what it
Like
sound.
she wants the Archon to be mad at Locke and Jean so
Yeah,
that they can't like team up against her, against
yeah.
her plans for the Archon.
That's what it sounded like because we get her point of view, and she was like, "Yeah, any person that could actually pull this, like I think they're dead, but if they pull it off, I might as well have them be in the bad graces of the Archon." So I don't know. I don't know who because I don't know. I don't know if it's like she's with the Priori or if she's with the Bonds Mages. She seems really cool, so
Yeah,
we're probably gonna get more of her.
she's an Aes Sedai.
Maybe I mean yeah, she went through that's where she goes when she goes through the portal.
This is Moraine's story in
Mm,
the portal.
maybe. Um, it's funny. You know, it is funny reading this book because it is kind of the same, like exactly the same format of of the first book.
It
Like, yeah, which is really interesting. Where it's like, yeah, we got this heist thing that's happening on, but we also have like this other stuff with the person in charge, and we got like the actual thing that's happening, but like the first heist is gonna end up playing into it a little bit, and it's just kind of interesting that he did this kind of the
This
same
one is a
thing.
little more jarring. Like
Yeah,
the switch from the Requiem game to the Pirates, it was more jarring from the Salvara game to the Gray King.
yeah.
Like I don't know. I think that one chapter kind of the editing in that one chapter really threw it off. I think chapter 7 recovered it. Like
Yeah.
we're at a good point again. Um, and I am eager to continue. It's
I
funny,
just
Dustin told you it's like a pirate heist or like pirate book, and like, well, that starts halfway through,
yeah. I mean actually like all you remembered about it, so but yeah.
which must
I
mean that that is the more interesting thing in the book.
I just don't see how they can go back and pull off this like heist.
I don't either.
I that's where I'm like weird at about it. Has to be that they like convince them to like move the money out of the vault or something. Because we already know that like coins are really heavy, so they have to go on a ship to like be able to be moved. It's probably what the ship that burns at the beginning is, which is cool. Also, do you think Jaquil is one of the guys from the beginning?
Jabril,
Jabril?
I could I could see him being one, yes.
Yeah, I can see because I can also see him being like a plant for somebody because they all like Stragos arranged it, so maybe he's one of Stragos's men.
He could be.
Yeah, yeah. Also,
like like a contention plan, like, hey, if these two do such and such, then I need you to shut it down or
yeah,
do
and then you
something.
you can once we have the revolution happening, we don't really need them or the war. Also, I will say it's a little convoluted on his part. He could have just probably gotten one of his captains to do it himself instead of needing locking them to do it. I guess it gives him a little bit more plausible deniability.
That, and he seems to like his men.
True. Yeah.
Like, I mean, we see that with the guards, right? It's like, hey, knock them out, don't kill them because they deserve a more honorable death than being killed by
Yeah.
you for this thing. Like, I'll send them to war, and if they die in war, oh well, hey, we'll honor them. But none of this shit. So
Yeah. Just reminds me of Ben Affleck and what's that? Apocalypse? Oh my God, what's the
Armageddon.
Armageddon, yeah. Where he's like he asked the director, he's like, "Hey, wouldn't it be easier for NASA to train astronauts to mine rather than train miners to be an astronaut?" He's like, "Shut up." So it's good enough. It was just kind of funny. I was just thinking of that. I was like, yeah, he probably. I mean, he's been thinking this for at least a couple of years. He probably could have like done it where it's because like it's very easy to like for this plan to fail horribly because I mean we're in a situation where the guy that he got to help basically man the ship is dead and they probably should just kind of die in the storm, but they're gonna get really lucky from the crooked warden and still alive. So yeah, it was just kind of funny thinking that. He probably just didn't want any also any like leaks or anything happening.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, for the conspiracy.
All right. Any other thoughts?
No, I'm interested to them getting to the port what, project goal or whatever. It's gonna be cool. Them starting this war. That's kind of it. I think it's gonna be a fun back half of the book.
I think so too. Let's see. I'm trying to find the page where we're going to.
Yeah, I will say I hope in the next book they just kind of they like do a heist.
Just do a heist
Yeah,
and not
I'm
interrupt
kind of
me.
I'm kind of down for like an Ocean's. I mean, there's gonna be like complications and shit. I'm kind of down for like an Ocean's 11 type book. Like they kind of just do the thing, and there's a lot of complications and weird stuff, but like the initial heist is the end goal, and like because like I like heist movies and stuff. They're all fun. Um, and this kind of like bait and switch, while fun and like really dynamic. I'm I'm down for one of the four books to have them just kind of do the thing.
Yeah, I
Cause
I,
it,
I would I agree because I'm
cause
like
it's
I just want to see the fucking heist. Like,
Yeah, because the weird thing is, it's kind of billed as like a heist novel, and it's not really. Like the first book is not really a heist novel, and the second book so far is not really a heist novel. It's kind of like because I would say like Mistborn is more of a heist novel than both these have been, which is weird.
yeah,
So
I
like
see.
yeah,
I
it's
see.
like I think it's just getting my expectations in line, or it's just like gonna have the trappings of a heist, but not really be a heist, which is fine. Like I'm down with that. These are fun books, but it's just kind of rewriting expectations.
Yeah. All right, so next week there's about a 200-page section. We'll read to the end of chapter 12, um, which ends in my book on page 581. Um, and uh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. More pirate stuff
Yeah,
and seeing how it ties back into Requiem, like you said.
yeah. We get no reminiscence
Yeah,
for
well, we had the
for the
last
rest of
reminiscence.
for the rest of the book. No more reminiscence.
Yeah, so, if you made it this far, hit that like button. You can subscribe. You can follow. You can share. You can leave a rating, a review, a comment. Um, we'll respond if you comment on YouTube or anywhere. Let us know if you like the books. Let us know if you like our podcast. Let us know if there's a book that you would like us to read and discuss.
Yeah.
Your
Say hello
favorite
to the
book.
cat.
Say hello to Nyx. Um, and make sure you visit our sponsor, Mudcat Whiskers. www.mudcatwhiskers.com is their website. You can use code paperweights at checkout to save yourself 15%. Um, and join us back next time when we discuss the first half of part 2 of Red Seas Under Red Skies.
Bye.